that everyone's going to be fighting over later on. So you can see the Nerubian Tower is really helping APM defend his acolytes. Well, maybe he's actually going to let that one die. Is it? Oh, he let it die. Wow. Wow. Well, at least his Death Knight's not dead. But yeah, so Psy's just throwing his leftover skeletons into APM's base. And one thing APM forgot to do was build his second crypt, which he's doing right now, and that's awful. Guys, I mean, if you're gonna go Gargs, at least do me the favor and get your crypts up in time. You know, your dual crypts, because you know you are going Gargs. If you're not going Gargs, fine, you don't need 2 crypts, but this is a strategy game, and you have to make decisions. You can't dilly-dally about these things. So yeah, now that he has a level 3 Death Knight against a Dark Ranger, so something that does not have mana burn, he can just basically smack around the archers, you know, slash them a couple times, hit them with skeletons, lightning rod, which he has, and then coil them and kill them off. And that's really the most effective use of your time right now, not creeping. The whole point of creeping is basically to get your Death Knight to that level 3, and then the rest is what you do with that level 3 Death Knight. So he's done, he's got the Death Knight to level 3 already, so he can do whatever he chooses now, which is going to be Satipuk expansion. Now, a big part of this Dark Ranger strategy is getting the expansion up quickly and holding it, because the undead cannot push it with ghouls, because of the Dark Ranger and Panda. So, APM is going to react to that by putting up his own expansion, while the elf is putting up his expansion. He knows that because he just scouted the expansion with his harassment, and there wasn't an expansion there yet, but he knew that it was like, I mean, it's the next logical step. Like, what's the elf going to do? He's going to creep the expansion, put up an expansion. Because the Dark Ranger gets less effective as the game drags on. And the undead gets better options than ghouls. So, APM is just going to take this time to put up his own expansion. And it's a really smart thing that he did was brought up Blight Skull and put down 2 Ziggurats. You're going to want to put up some towers if you're putting up an expansion against Elf, just because the Panda, first of all, kicks the shit out of undead expansions regardless, but you can actually keep your workers alive a little bit longer and actually have a chance of killing the Panda or some units if you have some towers up. So that's why he's doing that. Again, he's playing grab ass with his heroes. This is definitely what you want to be doing if you have anything more than level 1 coil. So level 1 coil, level 1 nova, level 2 coil, level 1 nova, something like that. Yeah. And he's also doing this because he doesn't want Psy cancelling his expansion. Psy knows he has to defend his expansion, which is also building at the same time. And elves are paranoid about their expansions. They really need their expansion. Maybe it's like their security blanket or something, but they really don't feel safe without that. And so if you could do that, or I mean, he could even go to his base if he didn't have an expansion going up. He could go to his base and start killing moonwells, start killing wisps, start attacking the mine. You know, just anything to get his attention away from what you're doing, which is putting up his expansion. So you'll see the Nerubian Tower that APM put up is, well, it was helping. It's not really helping now because it's not focusing the Panda. But it will help once he realizes that there's a Panda there. Oh, there we go. He switched the target of attack to the Panda. And this is the thing that you always want to do when an elf is attacking any sort of base of yours. Put the Nerubian Tower on the Panda and focus it. Or, alternatively, if he has another hero within range that doesn't have an invulnerability potion, when the Panda has an invulnerability potion. And you'll see that in this game, Psy neglects to use the shop at all to get invulnerability potions, and APM takes full advantage of that. I mean, it's such a simple thing. It's like, you know, things like the Panda are like difficult to counter, but things like Undead Nuke are so easy to counter. Just buy an invulnerability potion. Like, ridiculous. Oh, I shouldn't be telling the other races that the shops have invulnerability potions. Sorry to all you undead players. So he's still building Gargs. Gargs are probably your best bet if you're putting up a tier 2 expansion. And you can just do the hit and run thing and secure your expansion and then mass even more Gargs, or go for a kind of A-bomb, Frost Warrior, Meat Wagon, Statue, Mixed Army. Both are good. Just depending on your playstyle. Again, like APM has APM has crafted the strategy out of his playstyle, out of what he finds works for him, and it works for him. So this is definitely what you want to be doing. You want to be taking the cookie cutter and then realizing what changes you can make for it to make it more effective for you. But I definitely think you should try out the strategy because it's really sick. I mean, massing, like what he's going to do is he's actually going to put up 5 crypts and then just mass the shit out of Gargs, and it is crazy. He just has he has like a gaggle of Gargs, and just goes nuts. So that's why I really like this game, because he's always 2 steps ahead of the elf. So yeah, the elf is taking advantage of his dryads to actually creep APM's camps. Kind of sucks for APM, so he's just trying to slow him down, trying to pick at him, trying to make him screw up so he can take advantage of the fact that all the dryads' backs are turned to the Gargs, but the panda's back, so he can't really do that for too long without being in danger of losing all his Gargs. So he's just going to sit tight in his base. That's what all undeads are good at doing. Yep. So yeah, APM's getting the attack upgrades. He's putting up his... No, he hasn't put up... Okay, he's putting up his 4th crypt. And his 5th crypt at his expansion. You know, because 4 crypts aren't enough. I love that though. I love going over the top with stuff like this. It's so ridiculous, but it makes you look so cool. So yeah, he's just... I don't know what he's doing right now. He's just making something for himself to do by trying to kill the panda, I guess. Trying to delay, I guess, the inevitable Dryad push with the panda. He could get a spear tower up right now, and it would make the elf... It would make it pretty much impossible for the elf to attack his base at this point, if he really wanted to. I mean, if you want to be a real dick to elves, you can put up like 2 or 3 spirit towers and a Nubian tower, and it's basically impossible for them to attack that without like 4 to 6 bears and high-level heroes with invulnerability potions. So if you manage to get that expansion up, that's the best way to defend it. Well, that's actually what APM has for it, coincidentally, sorry. And he's also got a shape hit. You don't really need that on this map, but I still would recommend getting it, because you might want to switch to the Frostworms later on. And I guess you don't really need it on this map. I really like this map because there's not too many mass expansion kind of things that they can do to you. If they're expanding, it's not too hard to put up an expansion yourself and defend it, because it's fairly close to your base. And yeah, that's why I like this. And I always pretty much know where my opponent is and what he's doing. So yeah, now you're going to see something extremely stupid. You may have been like, everything APM has done up to this point is incredibly smart. I'm going to copy that. Don't emulate this next minute or 2. Okay, so he's creeping this turtle camp, right? He thinks he's safe because one of the 2 exits is defended by his expansion, but in reality, Psy knows exactly where he is. I mean, what else would he be doing right now? You know, like he's not checking his email or anything like that. Yeah, he's creeping this turtle camp, and he's right here. So Psy's just gonna come mess with him, with his dryads, and APM thinks he can walk along water or something like that with his Death Knight, but no, his Death Knight isn't Jesus, so he can't walk on the water, and his Death Knight can die. So yeah, especially considering that Death Knight, I think he had a potion, maybe a scroll, and a town portal, but you know, you wouldn't want to waste that considering he has 2 mines and 0 upkeep. You don't want to waste any gold. It actually would have been cheaper to save these heroes, but alas. So yeah, maybe he's trying to trick him into attacking his expansion or something by giving the false impression that he's lost everything, and now he's pumping Gargs out of 5 crypts. But he has no heroes, so he's just gonna go tavern them back. If you look at that, if you turn Fog of War off and you look